Rockstar Games is perhaps the most controversial name in gaming. With iconic franchises like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, they consistently push the boundaries of what video games can be, often in problematic ways. But with every release, Rockstar seems to redefine a generation and sell millions upon millions of copies. In fact, GTA 5 is one of the highest-grossing media titles ever. With over 200 million copies sold, it's the second best-selling game of all time behind Minecraft, and it's made far more money than any music album, book, or movie. And now, after more than a decade of waiting, Grand Theft Auto 6 is on the horizon, possibly the biggest release in gaming history. So while we wait to see how GTA 6 could possibly live up to the hype, let's piece together the 30-year history of Rockstar, all the controversy, all the revolution, and all the games that changed everything. It's a crazy story, and it all starts with two brothers who knew nothing about programming or game design. They just wanted to be gangsters. Every kid wants to be cooler than their parents, but for Sam and Dan Houser, that was easier said than done. The Houser brothers were born in early 1970s London. Their father owned a popular jazz club and knew the most famous artists of the day. Their mother was a talented actress who often starred in crime thrillers. Thanks to their mom, Sam and Dan were fascinated by crime movies. One time, when one of their dad's friends asked Sam about his dream job, he confidently said he wanted to be a bank robber. That dream wouldn't become reality just yet. For now, the Houser brothers grew up completely immersed in music, movies, art, everything to do with pop culture. But as they grew up, they began following their interests in different ways. Dan, the younger brother, was more interested in books and literature. He wanted to be a writer. But Sam became obsessed with an exciting new medium: video games.
Looks like beadwork.
Sam's parents kept him supplied with the latest consoles. But the real turning point came when his dad took him to New York for his 18th birthday. Sam fell hard for the city. The noise, the grime, the speed. It was nothing like London, and he loved every bit of it. During that trip, his dad arranged lunch with a record executive. Sam spent the whole meal lecturing the guy about how out of touch he was. Most teenagers would have gotten thrown out. Instead, the executive told Sam's dad, "Your son is a lunatic, but he has good ideas. You walked in without a job and walked out with one." Sam started working at BMG while still in college. He showed up between classes, worked like crazy, and climbed fast. BMG was a music label looking to expand. They considered movies, decided it was too expensive, and landed on video games instead. In 1994, they launched BMG Interactive. Sam was in. He knew nothing about making games. But he had taste, and he had opinions, and he inserted himself into every project they published. Most of them failed. But after 2 years, he became head of development. And then he got a phone call from Scotland. A small studio called DMA Design was making a game called Race and Chase. The pitch was simple: a living, breathing city where you play a cop chasing criminals. The problem was, it wasn't fun. It was a realistic police simulator. You followed traffic laws, you stayed on the road. It was boring. Sam looked at it and started asking questions. What if you could run red lights, speed, drive on the sidewalk? Then he went further. What if you weren't the cop? What if you were the criminal? What if you could steal cars, run people over, shoot at the police? Race and Chase was dead. Something else was born. They needed a new name. Sam had one: Grand Theft Auto.
Good shot, kid. I think you got him. Good shot, kid. I think you got him.
Dan had just finished his literature degree at Oxford. He saw what Sam was doing and wanted in. Books and movies are passive. Games are interactive. For a writer, that was a new playground. Together, the Housers packed GTA with every movie reference, every rebellious song, every crime fantasy they'd grown up on.
I got a warning for you from Bald Man Sonetti. Cross him again, I'll stick a gun up your ass and blow your f***ing eyeballs out.
The gaming world had never seen anything like it. Parents were already panicked before the game even came out. The Guardian called it the most controversial game in a decade. British politicians ranted about it in Parliament. Rockstar leaned into every bit of it. Controversy was free marketing. Grand Theft Auto came out in late 1997. Critics were split. The top-down graphics looked dated. The controls were clunky. But the people who got it really got it. They told their friends. Sales started slow, then grew, and grew. The game stayed in the charts for 18 months, 1 million copies sold. But BMG was falling apart. Executives had opened too many offices and burned through cash. They sold their gaming division to an American publisher called Take-Two Interactive for just $14 million. Take-Two's games were family-friendly. GTA was not. So instead of absorbing BMG, Take-Two kept it as a separate label. Sam got to name it. He chose Rockstar Games. And Take-Two bought the Scottish studio that made GTA, rebranded it to Rockstar North, and put everything under one roof. Now Rockstar had to prove it wasn't a one-hit wonder. GTA 2 came out in 1999. It was fine, better in some ways, but still stuck in top-down view while other games were going 3D. It sold twice as much as the original, but no one called it a masterpiece. The sequel needed to be different, and the timing was perfect. Sony was about to drop the PlayStation 2. Rockstar North had freedom and resources they'd never had before. Sam and Dan's plan was ambitious. 3 games, 3 cities, 1 connected vision. Liberty City was New York. Vice City was Miami. San Andreas was all of California. GTA 3 was the first. The jump to 3D changed everything, but the real leap was the story. You weren't just causing chaos anymore. You were a betrayed criminal climbing the ranks for revenge. Dan had written something with actual emotional stakes, and the violence was turned up. Way up. There were optional moments with sex workers that crossed every line. Rockstar knew they were pushing the rating system. An adults-only rating would kill them. Walmart and Best Buy wouldn't stock the game. And at the time, the worst thing that could happen, unfortunately, happened. September 11th happened. Sam watched the Twin Towers fall from his apartment window. GTA 3 was set in a city that looked exactly like New York. They had to make a choice, cancel the game or change it. They pulled the towers from the map, removed the ability to fly planes, cut back the gore. It was enough to get a mature rating instead of adults only. The game came out. Controversy exploded. Australia banned it. But none of that mattered. GTA 3 was a phenomenon. $400 million in its first year. Over 14 million copies to date. And more importantly, it brought gaming to people who had never touched a controller. Grand Theft Auto made video games mainstream. Take-Two's stock nearly tripled in 4 months. Rockstar had a new problem. How? Do you follow that? Vice City came next. It was set in Miami in the 1980s. The Housers called it the golden age of crime. They had a $5 million budget. They even had Ray Liotta and Burt Reynolds on the voice cast.
You took a certain gig doing a voice for Grand Theft Auto, the game, and you probably think to yourself...
And a soundtrack that cost more than most games' entire budgets. Vice City sold 1.4 million copies in 2 days, making it the fastest-selling game ever at the time. And it eventually outsold GTA 3 and pushed Take-Two past $1 billion in revenue. But one mission crossed a line even Rockstar hadn't intended.
Papi, hay problema, Tom. Papi, un gran problema. Roberto, my son, what happened? The Haitians. I hate these Haitians.
The mission had one objective. All the Haitians. The Haitian American community erupted. Rockstar got sued for hundreds of millions of dollars. Rockstar issued a formal apology and removed some lines from future copies of the game. But Rockstar had bigger problems brewing as they were working on their next game. The next GTA would be more violent, more ambitious, and more controversial than ever.
Oh shit, here we go again.
San Andreas was the most ambitious game they'd ever attempted. 3 cities, a black protagonist at the height of 90s gang wars, and a hidden feature Sam was determined to keep. Sex minigames that would absolutely get them an adults-only rating if anyone found them. Sam thought the rating system was unfair. Movies could show nudity and get an R rating. Games couldn't. At that point, Sam knew he had to remove these minigames from the game, but at that point, removing the code required for these minigames would create a ton of bugs, which Rockstar didn't have the time to find and fix all of them, so he told his developers to hide the code instead of deleting it. Out of sight, out of mind, or so he thought. San Andreas launched in 2004. Critics called it a masterpiece, and it even dethroned Vice City and became the best-selling PS2 game of all time. The problem was, when San Andreas released on PC in 2005, players started digging into the files. They found something. A modder unlocked the minigame that Rockstar hid in the code, and they called it Hot Coffee.
I never understood the phrase meaningless sex.
Because that was amazing.
Rockstar lied at first, said the modders created it themselves out of thin air.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
And so the ESRB investigated, found the sex scenes coded into every single copy of San Andreas. Rockstar was caught red-handed. The game got re-rated adults only. Walmart pulled it from shelves. Australia banned it. And Rockstar spent $25 million on recalls and re-releases. Hillary Clinton called for federal action against violent video games.
The ability of our children to access pornographic and violent material on an M-rated video game is spiraling out of control.
Take-Two's stock crashed. The city of Los Angeles sued. 3 of Rockstar's 5 co-founders quit, and only Sam and Dan were left standing. But here's the thing about near-death experiences. They focus the mind. Rockstar had other studios now. One of them was in San Diego, and they'd been working on a Western game called Red Dead Revolver. It wasn't a hit, but it came with something valuable, their own game engine. Rockstar had been using a popular engine called Renderware. Then EA bought the company that made it. Rockstar couldn't keep using their competitors' technology. The San Diego engine became the foundation for everything. They called it Rage, Rockstar Advanced Game Engine. And the first real test was GTA 4. It had an insane budget of $100 million, hundreds of people, and 3.5 years. The goal was simple: strip the GTA formula down to nothing and rebuild it perfectly. The setting was Liberty City again, but this time it felt real. The developers studied traffic patterns, subway systems, sewage infrastructure, things players would never consciously notice but would feel. Dan's writing had matured. Niko Bellic wasn't a power fantasy. He was an immigrant trapped in the American nightmare.
Nico! My cousin! I can't believe it! You're here! Welcome to America!
Bravo, Barazzaru! War is where the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other.
What do you think about America, Nico? Tell me straight. You love it, no?
I don't know, Roman. It is the same as any other place, only louder. People don't know how to shut up here.
The story was bleak, morally gray, and unforgettable. GTA 4 became the best-reviewed game in history, and it also made $310 million in just one day. And with over 25 million copies sold to date, it's now the 50th best-selling game of all time in 2026. But Rockstar was just getting started, because the San Diego team was already working on a new game. Two years later, Rockstar San Diego released Red Dead Redemption, The Wild West. Same formula, different skin. 23 million copies sold. Rockstar wasn't just the GTA company anymore, but success came with a hidden cost. GTA 4 took 3.5 years. Red Dead took 5. The next GTA would take even longer. Budgets were ballooning. GTA 5 reportedly cost $265 million and involved thousands of people. You can't run a business on one massive release every 5 to 7 years. Rockstar North started brainstorming the next Grand Theft Auto. Sam Houser had a simple directive: make it bigger than anything we've ever done. Not just bigger in map size, though it would be that too. Bigger in scope, in ambition, in the sheer number of systems running under the hood. The team settled on Los Santos, Rockstar's version of Los Angeles. But this wasn't the blocky, limited city from San Andreas. This was a living, breathing recreation of Southern California. GTA 5 launched in September 2013. No one saw this coming. Over 205 million copies sold, $8.6 billion in revenue. Only Minecraft beats it in units. The biggest gamble was the three protagonists. Michael, the retired bank robber in witness protection, bored out of his mind in a mansion he doesn't deserve. Franklin, the young hustler trying to get out of the hood. And Trevor, the walking meth-addicted psychopath who does whatever he wants. The Housers had watched the gaming industry shift. Multiplayer was becoming the thing people stuck around for. Single-player games sold well, but online games sold forever. So they built a persistent world inside Los Santos where players could do missions together, buy properties, customize cars, and generally cause chaos as a group. GTA Online launched in 2015. Then something unexpected happened. Players kept playing for years, and a decade later, GTA Online is still one of the most played games on the planet. Rockstar kept adding content, heists, businesses, submarines, a full-on alien invasion plotline. None of it was planned from the beginning. They just kept building because people kept showing up. The microtransactions alone have generated billions. GTA 5 has made over $8 billion in total. That's more than every Star Wars movie combined. It's a money printer with a controller. So why did it take so long to get a sequel? Because Rockstar had another monster to build. This time, Rockstar went all out. This game is considered by fans Rockstar's greatest game ever so far. Red Dead Redemption 2 started development in 2011, before GTA 5 even launched. At its peak, over 2,000 people worked on Red Dead Redemption 2. The goal was insane. They wanted to build the most detailed open world ever created. Not the biggest, though it was huge, the most alive. Every NPC had a daily routine. They woke up, ate breakfast, went to work, went to the saloon, went home, went to sleep. If you followed one for an entire in-game day, you'd see it happen. The story was Dan Houser's masterpiece. Arthur Morgan, an enforcer for a dying gang of outlaws, watching the world leave him behind. It's a tragedy about progress, loyalty, and the impossibility of escaping who you are. People cried at the ending, grown adults, over a video game about cowboys. Red Dead 2 came out in October 2018. It sold over 67 million copies. Critics called it a landmark, a watershed, a new standard for the industry. It won basically every award that existed.
And the Game Award goes to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Now the clock was ticking. Fans waited for a sign. Then the bad news. Dan Houser left Rockstar in 2020 due to burnout. Too many 100-hour weeks. He was the writer, the soul of the stories. How could Rockstar continue without him? The good news is by then, GTA 6 had already been in development for 7 years, so Dan's work and genius was already baked in. In December 2023, they released the first trailer. It broke YouTube records, over 90 million views in a day. The internet lost its collective mind. 2 protagonists, a female lead for the first time in series history. Miami recreated in absurd detail. A release window of 2025, which has since slipped to 2026. The budget rumors are staggering. $2 billion, some outlets claim. More than the combined budgets of Star Citizen, Genshin Impact, and Cyberpunk 2077. That would make GTA 6 the most expensive entertainment product ever made. Will it live up to the hype? History says maybe. GTA 4 and 5 both delivered. Red Dead 2 delivered. Rockstar has a longer winning streak than almost any studio in gaming. But 10 years is a long time to wait. Expectations are beyond unreasonable. The Hauser brothers started this whole thing. They ended up building an empire, one that prints money, breaks boundaries, and costs people their sanity.